Hello and welcome everyone. In this last video tutorial for chapter Sources of Food, we are going to study about what are the food habits of animals. Depending upon their food habits, animals can be divided into three categories, I should say, or three parts: herbivorous, carnivorous, and omnivorous. Before moving further, a just quick revision for what we have studied. Till now, we are aware that the food which we receive from plants can be multiple parts of plants or obtained from multiple parts of plants. That is, it can be roots, for example, radish, beetroot, turnip. It can be stems, ginger, onion, or it can be leaves, spinach, coriander, cabbage. It can be fruits and vegetables, apple, zucchini, eggplant, or it can be flower and buds. That is cloves, cauliflower, broccoli. It can be seeds. Seeds, we do dwell on seeds, because flow, the wheat which we use is a seed, maize, peanut, etc. Similarly, when we talk about animals, we receive multiple things from animals, that is milk, meat, eggs. In some cases I can say honey is also an animal product because it is taken from bees. So after studying these things, now the next thing is food habits of animals. Now, before talking to food habits of animals, we should know that plants are able to prepare their own food, and as plants prepare their own food, they are known as autotroph. Autotroph are those which can create their own food other than plants. Some bacterias are also, and algae. Some bacterias and algae are capable to create their own food. Basically, the definition of autotroph is plants, those which produce its own food by using water, light, and carbon dioxide. By taking water, light, and carbon dioxide, what plant produces? Carbohydrates and oxygen. Plants are known as autotroph. And other than plants, whatever organisms available on earth are known as heterotroph, because they do not prepare their own food. They have to take their food from either plants or other animals. So we also call them as consumers or heterotroph. Now heterotroph are categorized in multiple categories, that is herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous, parasites, saprotroph, etc., which we are going to study in the further slides. Look how happy this cow is. Basically, cow, goat, buffalo, horse, they are herbivorous. Herbivorous because they eat plant parts. They can eat leaves, they can eat stem, whatever which they will eat, it will be directly from plants. So they are known as herbivorous. Herbivorous means those which eat herbs. So herbivorous. Now, because cow is a herbivorous, so in order to eat grass or leaves, what are the categories what are the adaptations she require is they have very sharp teeth in front for cutting and grazing, and flat wide teeth at the back for chewing. They can because whenever you give whenever it is eating grass, it cut the grass without any issue, without very easily she cut the grass because her front teeth are very sharp like Caesar. She can cut very fast. And in the back teeth are for grinding, where she chew it. how scary the teeth of this tiger are. This not only this tiger, all carnivorous. Carnivorous means those who are dependent on flesh, who kill other animals for their food. So, in order to kill, they have these canine teeth. How long they are and how sharp they are. Animals which eat only on small animals are called carnivorous. These are also called flesh-eating animals. Example, lion, tiger, jackal, vultures, etc. Now, birds can also be carnivorous. Animals, lion, tiger, they are land animal, but birds are also carnivorous. Some birds have, like vultures, they have a very strong and pointed beak. They have very long and pointed beak so that they can hunt very easily and kill their prey. Herbivorous and carnivorous. The next category is omnivorous. Look how happy this bear is. These omnivorous are those animals which can eat plants or the parts of plants, as well as they can eat animals also. They can eat whatever they like. Animals which eat both plants and animals are called omnivorous. Example, human being, bear, rat, chicken, crow, etc. Now, omnivorous, they have both sharp front teeth and molars for grinding. We all, like for us, we have 4 canine teeth. These canine teeth were very useful in past when we used to hunt, but now we don't hunt, so they are of very small size, but still we have these canine teeth in our mouth. We have grinding teeth to grind things. We have the front teeth are sharp so that we can take a bite from apple very easily. Next category is parasites or silent killers. Parasites are plants or animals that live on or in the host. For example, mosquito, it take a bite and it suck out the blood. It doesn't go inside our body. But there are many types of insects, or you can say roundworms, which live inside our intestine. Now, because they are inside our body, they are parasite. These mosquitoes lives outside, so they are also parasite because they suck our blood. Now, host. Host is an organism that supports a parasite. Now, you are sleeping and you never want any mosquito to bite you. But you were sleeping and a mosquito came and it took some blood from your body. Now, your body is working as a host for the mosquito. And this mosquito is a parasite. After parasites, next category is decomposers. Parasites are no good for us. They are not at all good. They only hurt us. But decomposers, they are friendly. Though, yes, they decompose things around us, but sometimes they are very good for us. For example, a big tree died in a forest. Now these decomposers will decompose the tree and make it change it into humus and soil. Now, because that tree if is not there, a dead body is not there, so they are basically cleaning the environment. They are basically cleaning the environment. Okay, so decomposers are very good for us. Organisms which feed on dead plants, dead animals and rotten materials for their food are called decomposers. Decomposers can be bacteria, fungus. Scavengers consume dead animals and decomposers break down the remains of dead plants and animals. Now, scavenger we are going to study in next slide, but another example for decomposer is termites, or you can say you know it by the name of demuck. what these termites do, they if any tree is there, if any piece of log or wood is there, they will finish it off it within a week and will change a whole of the wood into soil. So it is also a type of decomposer. Ants are a type example of decomposer. Next category is scavengers. Scavengers are basically those animals which clean up whatever dead body is on the soil. They will eat up and finish that dead body. Take the try to understand this using an example. Suppose a lion hunted a deer. Now he ate it up to which his stomach was filled. Now because his stomach is filled, he will leave the body there. Now the dead body which is there, it has served the purpose to the lion, but now for environment it will rot it out, and the environment around it will be not good for any other things. So what will be done here is, now scavengers will come. They will finish off this dead body and will remove it from the soil, so that there are no disease which can spread from the dead body. Even in villages, when an animal die, in previous, now we don't have those big forests, but previously 50 years back, when any animal die in a village, the dead body of that animal was kept inside, deep inside the forest. What will happen? The scavengers, vultures, dogs, etc., or jackals, they hyenas, which are around the area, will come and feed on that dead body, and that dead body will be finished within a week. Hence, the dead body will not be able to increase any or spread any disease, and these scavengers will be able to aid the or help the environment by cleaning up dead bodies.